do you feel that the right teams made the Super Bowl?
Man, I mean,
I know that's a very stilted question.
It is.
Stilted question, but I think you're getting my meaning here.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Because I never want to get to the point, and I've always said this, and I even put this out as a question to this social media. Do you like to see a game that ends in a close game, or do you like to see a blowout? I love to see blowouts because there's no dispute who won. And for me as an athlete, you never want to put it in the hands of anybody else. And so if it ever gets to the point where we're questioning the referees, as an athlete, I've always said, well, I shouldn't have let it get to that position. So, yes, the right teams are about to compete for the Super Bowl, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, Breeze did say that essentially after the game that there were a lot of points that they left out on the field. And I always on this show recount the line that Rod Woodson, Pro Football Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, told me that Chuck Noll would tell him, the Hall of Fame head coach of the Steelers, play better than the ref's ref is what he would tell the Steelers every time before they went out to play a game. Play better than the ref's ref.
Yeah.
That said, we know that mistakes get made, as we saw. Would you be, or do you think players would be up for having everything challengeable, so you could be able to challenge, hey, that should have been pass interference?
Well, I mean, yes, some players would, but then the game, every single call would be challenged. I mean, where does this stop?
Well, if you keep the number, the universe, of challenges in the pocket of a coach the same. So you can't challenge everything. It's not every play could be challengeable. You still only have 2 challenges, and you still need to get both right to get the third. It's just that you could just challenge everything. The issue would be what happens in the last 2 minutes. Would the NFL or the league or whoever the sky judge is buzz into every single play?
Right.
That is the issue.
Then the question is, how come we believe the last 2 minutes of a game is more pivotal than the remaining time? So all of the time beforehand equals the last 2 minutes. So why are we so concerned about the last 2 versus the entire game?
That's a great point, because in the NBA, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris Brockman, the replay system buzzes in for whether a ball is out of bounds and on whom in the last 2 minutes of an NBA game or half, but not the rest of it, which drives me crazy.
They missed that. What was the one when the Rockets and the Warriors was playing?
Right. No, I think it was the Rockets and the Lakers this past weekend.
Man.
It was insane. No, I know that exactly. Yeah. Right. So,
but I think then we're losing the art of the game and focus, and it comes down to focusing on the referee. It becomes now that the referee is the game more. So if we continue to put so much of the final cost in the referee's hands, it's the players, it's the coaches. The referees are there to make sure it's constructed. There are going to be mistakes made. We know that. To judge the person that's making the mistake constantly, I get that to a certain level. But to slow the game down, to nitpick every little detail, it loses the art of the game. I mean, for goodness sake, if we don't have anything to discuss like now, if everything was perfect, the game almost would be boring.
Yeah, I'm not. That's always been Rashad Jennings here on the show. That's always been a theory thrown out throughout the years about the old BCS system in college football, or before the BCS system, that the argument as to who's number one or who should be in the national championship game was always a positive, that at least where it got controversy to talk about. I want a system to actually work and work right.
Right.
That's what I'd prefer. I prefer something to work right than bask in the controversy because it's something to talk about. Yeah. I know what you're saying, and a lot of people do believe that. I'm just not one of those people. But so, that said, speaking on behalf of all NFL players, which I'm allowing you to do for the moment.
Okay, that's some pressure, guys.
Okay.
So hold on, let me think about it.
If the league and competition committee does nothing, players would be fine with that.
Fine. Some will be.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.